Hello, welcome back to On the Porch. Yeah, we've been away for a while, but we've been busy. Anyway, so a topic Steve and I talked about previously, what happened to R&B? Why did it just disappear? Why aren't people making more R&B songs? Back in the 80s and the 90s, we loved R&B songs. You had Karen White, you had Whitney, Luther. A lot of us came, well, did some of us? No. The later, so our kids came from Luther. When you go back into the 70s, you had Sam Cooke.
Shoot, Sam Cooke before the 70s.
Well, I'm just saying.
There's baby making them been going on for R&B for a lot of years.
Yes.
That's the point.
Yes. And maybe it needs to come back so people can have...
And we know it's not gone. We know it's not gone. It's just different.
It is very different.
There's really no groups. All the groups are like K-pop groups.
Right.
And whatnot. Yeah,
you don't have the Brownstones, the Tonys, the Into Me. Yeah. Shalimar. Was Shalimar a single or
no,
it was a group? Yeah, Shalimar. High Five, 112. Ooh.
Yeah, they're all gone.
They're all gone. Why are we not having
R&B groups?
R&B groups. I understand we have YouTube and people are doing their own thing, but that harmony of a group.
Yeah. It's not profitable.
It's not profitable?
It's not profitable for the individuals in the group. Like, you can put your music out. It's so easy to put your music out nowadays as opposed to before. You don't necessarily have to go out and perform at clubs and parties to get your name out there or sell tapes out of your trunk. You can put your music out on whatever platform, SoundCloud, whatever, YouTube, and it's easier now. So,
but think about
why
tours.
Split it? Yeah,
the
but
tours.
Why split your revenue with three or four other people?
Because all of you can become big.
Okay.
You can become big as a group. And I understand, back in the day, they start off as a group, and then you have that
branch off.
You have that lead singer
it's not even always the lead singer. Sometimes just
right. But I also think that it's the industry who wants to go with that one individual and say, "Oh, you don't need them," because
they know how to pick like which one's going to be the superstar of the group. Like what group was Justin Timberlake with? Was it NSYNC or something?
It was NSYNC or
98 Degrees. I don't know. It was one.
I wasn't 98 Degrees. It was NSYNC and New Kids on the Block.
But it wasn't New Kids on the Block. New Kids on the Block was before all that.
Was it?
Yeah, they came out in the 80s.
Oh.
Yeah. Ask your average person to name anybody else from that group other than Justin Timberlake.
Well, that's because he became popular.
My point.
But if you take someone else out of that group, they could have became popular too. You would know their name. But if the music company is focusing on one individual, you're not going to know the other ones. You're going to know them as a group.
But they also know, like, they know the people in that group. They know which ones are easier to market. They know which ones have the most talent, and those are the ones that might get pushed to become solo artists. Or those people in the group know that they're the most marketable and most talented, and they push themselves to be a solo artist. So sometimes it's not just the label or whatever. You could be like David Ruffin.
Oh, from the Temptations.
Yeah, he knew he was the most talented and the best at whatever they do. So he was like,
but the Temptations is big. You hear David Ruffin, but did David Ruffin make a lot of songs?
Yeah, but not every group has that privilege to be so good and so big that they could get along. Like New Edition got along without Bobby Brown. Mm-hmm. But think about all the groups where someone came out and became much bigger, like The Deal. Babyface is in The Deal, right?
But wasn't that his brothers?
Okay, but
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, my point is, like, Babyface became bigger than The Deal.
Yeah. So. Okay, and you got Tony. They were a big group.
Yeah.
And Raphael Sadiq came from that group, right? It's just It's just depends. But we're talking about, why couldn't R&B continue? Like we said, there are some songs that I guess that falls into R&B, but I don't see them categorized or in that genre of R&B. Are they pop now?
And since we listen to a lot less radio, like even before we moved, we weren't listening to the radio a lot because it was always the same shit on all the time.
Oh yeah, they push
certain songs and that's all you hear. Yeah, I think that maybe it'll make a comeback one of these days. I don't know. It'll take some big R&B group to come along, whether it be a duo or three or whatever, that comes along and has such a massive hit and like such a huge album, which is even harder to do nowadays, that it convinces the industry like, okay, maybe there's money in this. Just not just K-pop groups, like
Right.
there's actual money in this.
So what do you think about, I know like Maxwell, Eric Benet, Brandy, Monica, you have Tyrese, even Tamar and her sister, Braxton. Tony Braxton.
Oh, I ain't gonna say Tamar and her sister.
Because I
Tony
couldn't-
Braxton. Tony Braxton and her sister Tamar.
But Tamar can really sing.
Okay.
So you have your own little issue with Tamar, so stop it. But anyway, what I'm
She's the
saying,
most hood bougie person I've ever seen. But go ahead.
but anyway, what I'm saying is those artists are already known. Why aren't they pushing new songs? I know they're working with the industry, but bring back R&B because we know they can sing. We know they can make a hit if they have the right producer
And writer. Because a lot of them don't write their own songs. There are some that write their own songs, but a lot of them don't. So they have to be gifted those songs or pay for those songs. And that song may not, like, it may be a great song, but it doesn't fit that artist's style or the way they sing. Like, there's all kinds of different
And I
things
think a
going
lot
on.
of people are trying to cater to young people now. When we're
TikTok generation.
we're still here. The
Yeah.
people in their 40s and 50s are still here, and we're still looking for, hey, can you come up with a nice R&B song? We will play it, we will buy it, because we want to hear. I don't want to hear half of that stuff that's on the radio while I'm cleaning, while I'm doing anything.
It's why we
playing
still
a
listen
game.
to old ass music.
Yes.
While we just doing any random thing, whether it be we used to go fishing, like I had a playlist we play when we were going fishing. Now when we're playing a board game, we turn the TV off, turn on some music. It's always something from like 80s, 90s, maybe the 2000s. It's like some of that bleeds in. There's some good songs. There's some
You hear Scissor, Her.
Yeah. There's some good recent songs that we can play. Like we're saying, it's not dead. It's not dead. It's just not as prevalent as it used to be because like back in the day, 80s, 90s, your jam was very likely an R&B song.
Yeah.
It wasn't always going to be like a rap song or something else.
Key Sweat, Ready for the World, Maze, The Barge, Zap, Commodores, Teddy Pendergrass,
that's
Marvin
song,
Gaye.
And now it's like if somebody hears me listening to something like that, like, oh, here go his old ass, but it's still good.
It's still good.
There's a reason I still listen to Wu-Tang
Exactly.
in the gym. Like it's like, and I know that's rap, but like there's a reason. Like some of that older music was just so good. You can't. What's the point of letting it go? It's still good.
Yeah, I mean Anita Baker, Blackstreet, John B. It's like, and some people say Zane, some people say Zane. I'm not for sure which one it was, but definitely I love Brownstone, Zane, 702, Atlantic Star, M to Me. What was the other one? The who song Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Saturday Love.
Saturday Love, yeah. You listen to it more than I listen to it.
What was the song she did with Alexander O'Neal?
So it was Sherelle and Alexander O'Neal.
Yeah, Saturday Love.
Saturday Love. Love. Oh my God. Especially on a Saturday.
You don't like that song? What's wrong with you?
Who did the biopic on Luther recently?
It was a Jamie Foxx company production, but what was it called? It's called Never Too Much. Never Too Much. You can watch it on streaming for free, I think.
Yeah.
Great documentary about Luther Vandross.
Very good. Yeah. Oh, it just reminded me of all the songs, and I did not know how many songs he wrote
for other people.
And
before he became big
Exactly. And he was a background singer.
For years.
He did not want to be in the spotlight. He wanted other people.
And the industry had a problem with like
His
a darker skinned big guy.
Yeah.
Being the lead. But if your music's good enough, it don't even matter.
It doesn't matter. And they need to stop pushing that narrative that we can't cross over into other countries when we do.
Yeah.
I mean, our voices travel, especially when we're good. But yeah, I miss it. I know so many other people in my age group still listen to the oldie but goodies. Yeah, they still relevant.
Yes.
They're still relevant. They still resonate with us. Oh my goodness.
Yes, the same song my mother played on the record player when she was cleaning on the weekend.
Oh,
it's the music I listen to now.
The 45s, the vinyls. Yeah. Oh, we used to love just to. I can to this day, I can remember putting that 45 or that album on the record player and lay that arm on that record and hit.
Skip a little bit, get a little alcohol.
Monica and Brandy, you two really need to go on tour. I don't know if it's an issue with who's headlining. Y'all both are headliners. You can alternate. Give the people what they need to hear. Let the new generation hear how great you two sound. Y'all still young. Get out there. We just lost Angie Stone, Roberta Flack. These are legends. You know what I'm saying? And they were great. So if you're watching this and you don't know about the 80s and the 90s and some of the 70s music, go check it out. Yeah. Like I said, H-Town, High Five. Of course, Eric Benet, I think he's still on tour. Maxwell is still on tour.
And some of the music, if you pull up a playlist, go on YouTube, right? Pull up some 80s, 90s R&B playlist. You can be like, oh, that's the music my grandma listened to. Yes, it is.
Yes.
And it's still great.
It's still relevant. And Mint Condition. Mint Condition for all the women, Pretty Brown Eyes, that was a hit. Christopher Williams, and I'll be sure I used to get those two mixed up.
It was both light skinned.
Yeah, the light skinned brothers, according to Steve.
Yeah, light skin privilege.
SWV. Oh, Escape.
Yeah. And what's crazy is a lot of this music that we're talking about, you've heard it in some sample, in something new. Like you've heard some sample of some of this older music, and the reason you love these new songs so much is because they were great when they came out.
That's true. That is actually true. The Isley Brothers. When you had Ronald Isley, and of course people don't want to talk about, but with R. Kelly.
Yeah, when he was Mr. Big.
Yes.
That was a whole thing.
The Closet.
Yeah. Well, that was after.
But still, that was a thing that people waited for because it was a continuation.
Yeah.
Oh, we look.
Dude can tell a story. I mean, say what you want. Dude can tell a story.
Yes, and we don't agree with his
lifestyle,
but he can make some great music.
Yeah. We
miss Prince. We miss Michael Jackson. They were amazing geniuses when it came to making music.
There's so many artists that we could talk about. You really just need to do like a random playlist and just listen to all the different songs. And sometimes like if you go to a playlist on like YouTube or even Spotify, it might have like all the biggest songs, all the ones that were like the biggest like crossover hits and whatnot. Those aren't always the best songs. Like,
no.
Sometimes you got to dig a little deeper, and there's some really great songs that weren't like number one across the board on Billboard. They might have been like number one, number two on the R&B charts, and like 15th on top Billboard, whatever. But they were still excellent songs.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And back in the day when you bought an album, you had the lyrics on the back of the cover or inside the album. Michael Jackson, was it Thriller? The one he was laying in the white suit
with the tiger.
That
was Thriller.
That you see with him and without.
Yeah, it's like on the inside of the cover that you can see the tiger, but on the outside you can't.
Michael Jackson album is an album that you listen to every song.
Yeah.
There was not a song you just skipped.
No skips. It was only 9 tracks. Like Purple Rain. Like you don't skip any song.
Because all of the songs are good. Today, in today's time, maybe one of those one or two of those songs made.
I can't tell you how many new albums come out. And I'm like, okay, I'll listen to it. I might need something to listen to in the gym. And I'm like, okay, skip. skip. Oh, this was okay. I put a like on it.
Yeah.
Skip. There's 20 tracks on this album. I like 3 of them.
You like 3 of them.
Yeah.
But back then, you got Freddie Jackson.
Yeah. You were mad if you bought an album back then, because this is before you could listen to. You couldn't listen to them before you bought them, unless you went to
the record store and they had the headphones and you can listen. They had certain, because I worked at a record store, so I know they had certain albums that would put on for you to listen to, and you can listen to the album.
Yeah, so like that helped me out. Like in the mid '90s, I was gonna buy a Wu-Tang album, whatever. Anyway, but like
we're not talking about rap. We're talking about R&B.
So what I'm saying is like you'd be pissed if you bought an album back in the 80s or 90s, and you're like, oh my god, this joint's trash. There's only like one good song on this. It's the one song I heard on the radio.
Yes, so, and the whole album is trash.
Yeah. So like artists had to really like put in some work on their albums. Like if an album had 10 tracks, 11 tracks, 5 or 6 of them was some bangers.
Yeah, we'll come back and we'll talk about rap,
because right now we're talking about stuff that's kind of gone. It's not gone, but it ain't the same.
It's not the same.
Rap's still around, like real heavy.
Right. It's still around, but it's different. Yeah, but it wasn't as heavy as it is now.
Oh yeah. Everybody who wants to be a rapper they the biggest thug ever.
Yeah. It wasn't thugging.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you like this video and you liked a certain group, drop it down in the comments. Talk about which song that you still listen to today or which artist. We would love to hear about it. Thank you for watching. And thank you for joining us on the porch. Until next time, bye.
Bye.